Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is October the 15th, 2020. Strong hand. Compete. Don't complain. Oh, we'll be talking about that. This is where the big boys play. We don't need government regulation to solve our problems. It's not a stay safe zone. Buying over crying, personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Apex predator, we're one day closer to an all-time high. I'm offended by selling. Oh yeah. Hello, my elite friends. I'm pumped about this show. If you have questions, I have answers. You can type in BitcoinMeister or do a super chat. But I actually was thinking about new formats of shows. It was not last 2 nights ago, and I actually wrote down something. I want to do a show on current events that people are crying and screaming about, problems that everyone says can't be solved. Okay, and some of the problems aren't even that big. I mean, it only takes personal responsibility. But I came up with this. In the golden age, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency can solve all of the world's complaints. And I would do shows where there'd be a popular complaint, and I would explain step by step how Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or whatever can solve the problem. Okay. So then we have this, all of a sudden, Twitter yesterday and Facebook have a big censoring issue. And for quite some time, people have been complaining about big tech and that the government needs to regulate big tech, or the government needs to break up the big tech monopoly. I mean, very intrusive government actions. And I'm very surprised by some of the people that say this stuff. They're against government interference on one end of the spectrum, but then they're like, yeah, the government should have nationalized Twitter. I mean, it's insane, some of these solutions you hear out there. So, I mean, I'm obviously totally against anything like that. Now, I'm going to give you my solutions. Bitcoin can solve this Twitter issue that is going on, and we'll go over what the specific issue is and what Bitcoin can do, and what the Bitcoin community can be very excited about, because a part of the new format that I was proposing was, how can Bitcoin solve the problem, and how can the solution help Bitcoin holders? Okay, so we'll get into that. But what do I have here? Tomorrow, Friday, noon Baltimore time. This Week in Bitcoin on this very channel. Pound that like button. It should be interesting. A guest from Venezuela, a new guest, a third guest possibly. I'm juggling a lot of things over there. It's hard to get confirmation. Always hard to get confirmation on that last guest. It's very strange. Or not always, but a lot of often. Now, all right. I talked about we don't need to regulate So Twitter is biased. Get this through your heads, people. It's a private company. They're biased, okay? So you can deal with that. You can deal with them being biased. You can cry and scream about it too. And on your own, you can go to Parler, okay? I'm already BitcoinMeister on Parler. I noticed the last 24 hours an uptick on my followers on Parler, okay? But a lot of people aren't going to, they're not going to do that on their own, okay? Because it's not a viable gimmick or a viable marketing strategy saying, hey, we're Parler, we're not going to censor. Unfortunately, most people are 80%ers, and that's not very intriguing to them, okay? But how about if Parler said, we're involved with money, we're involved with cryptocurrency, we're involved with Bitcoin. You see, money speaks. That's quite a gimmick. That would definitely wake some people up right there and say, well, wait a second, this will get me to stop being an algorithm slave on Twitter. If I can somehow get money out of the situation, if I can somehow get this Bitcoin or cryptocurrency out of the situation. So let's quickly review the situation here, though. And this is a Ben Shapiro tweet. They got what they wanted. Let's also be clear about Okay, they meaning the company got what they wanted. Let's also be clear about one particular horrifying fact. The social media crackdown on the New York Post story is the kind of action our journalistic betters have been begging for. Our press aren't First Amendment advocates. They are openly in favor of censorship. Okay, so the traditional press, they love this because a story came out in the New York Post, and it kind of went against. It was about Biden's son, and it was not a very complimentary story for about Biden's son and his dealings with the Ukraine and the vice president and former vice president. So Twitter said that there were falsehoods in it. I don't know. They censored it. You couldn't send it to people. You couldn't tweet it out. And but the biased media they love this. And so, I mean, so do some people within these corporations. They love the control. Okay. So this crackdown, it's been expected for a while. We think of social media as this place where we can say anything we want to. I think some people see it as a way to get their control freak ways out there. All right. And Twitter has clearly played into this. Now, we've said great things about Jack Dorsey before. It's awesome that he owns a lot of Bitcoin. It's awesome that his other company deals with Bitcoin. But with his Twitter company, they are censoring. But hey, they can do that. They can do that. If they've got a slant, they can do that. So yeah, check out that Ben Shapiro tweet. I didn't really express everything that I thought about that great tweet properly there. But look, we're not really talking politics here today. We're talking about how Bitcoin can solve the censorship issue on Twitter. Now, so this is an opportunity. Everyone's seeing it as like the end of the world. Oh my, they should have acted earlier. We should have had the government interfere before the Republicans lost control of the government. No. This is an opportunity for people who are in motion, for a company that is in motion. Here is my specific suggestion. Parler today should say they are going to implement the Lightning Network on their site. All right. Now, that seems like a very nebulous statement there. Okay, it is. Okay, because how would the Lightning Network be? Are you going to be able to upvote people and send them a little bit of Bitcoin? Are people going to be able to pay to only see certain Parler parlays? I don't know. It puts it. This is marketing here, okay? If they just said, we are implementing Lightning Network today, we would love some of you Bitcoin developers to, gather with us and figure out how to do a proper implementation of Lightning Network, it would make huge news, okay? Huge news across, at least in our Bitcoin space, to say the very least. And it would get people talking about this Parler, okay? It would add legitimacy to Parler. I think Parler at that point also should put Bitcoin logos all over their freaking site, okay? And should have Bitcoin donation addresses on their site, okay? So people can send them money. And Bitcoiners would start to support Parler in this way. And Parler would start to be, instead of being this backwater or this like tertiary type of low-level alternative to Twitter, it would start to gain some legitimacy here because people would say, oh, wait, there's some money involved here. And they don't censor. The most important thing is that they don't censor. Coincidentally, the other day, the CEO of Parler, and I re-parlered this on my Parler, and I'm BitcoinMeister there, was saying how they are not political. Parler is not political. They let anything out there. So maybe Coinbase, who says they are also not political, they would want to partner with Parler. And maybe Parler could just use Coinbase's affiliate codes and Swan's affiliate links, okay? Just put it all over their sites. And be part of, just insert themselves in the Bitcoin community, just like that, all right? They could reach out to Coinbase and say, hey, you can sell or instead of just having affiliate links, build into our site ways where people could just click on a link and they could buy Litecoin right away or whatever you do over at Coinbase. Okay, there's so many opportunities to intertwine themselves with cryptocurrencies, with cryptocurrency players, with Bitcoin, the Lightning Network, right there, then and there. People have been craving in the Bitcoin space for some major Lightning Network type of implementation announcement at the very least. All right. And so how would that help Bitcoin holders? Well, I think right there. I mean, it would be a major story. People who had never heard about Bitcoin before would hear about Bitcoin, and yeah, I mean that's pretty simple how it would help Bitcoin holders. Free great marketing there. Now, and BitChute could do the same thing. Okay, BitChute could do the same exact thing. And we already have CryptoParler there. So I have that hashtag there, and some people use it. So the Bitcoiners would move over there. All sorts of people would be incentivized to increase traffic over there just because of the cryptocurrency adoption, quote unquote adoption, that this Parler outfit would be involved in. Now, so yes, something you could practically do right now is just join Parler. That would help. And tweet about this kind of thing. Say, hey, or parlay about this kind of thing over there. And say, hey, Parler, implement Lightning Network. Or watch this video of Adam Meister. He's giving you a solution to take advantage of the current situation over at Twitter. This is entrepreneurial spirit. This is being in motion. This isn't saying, oh, Senator whoever, Senator Kamala, break up the big tech. That'll fix everything. No, more regulation is terrible. And you give the government power to break up Twitter. What are they going to break up next? Your company, okay? So you don't want to give the government more overreaching power to nationalize social media because you don't like that the social media that you were using is biased. Yes, Twitter is biased. Leave Twitter, go to a better Twitter, help make a better Twitter. Cryptocurrency can help make a better Twitter at Parler. Cryptocurrency can help make a better YouTube at BitChute. I just gave you real golden age, in motion, freaking solutions there. That is what I like to do. That solves a real problem that people are crying and screaming about on this very day, October the 15th, 2020. Now, what else do we have? So it's an opportunity. I'm jumping over here so much. And I want to read one thing that VJ said about this. And he's been on the show before. Facebook, Twitter, and Google have built internal tools to implement systemic censorship. The tools are a little different to the tools used by China's authoritarian government. They may not be used as frequently yet, but they are no less chilling. Yeah, they are. They're chilling. So go to a place that does not have this. Go to a place that is going to be uber Bitcoin friendly, okay? And it's, hey, Parler CEO, if you're watching this, let's talk. Or talk to the Lightning Network people, okay? Now, and you have some other options too, Mr. Parler. I think his name is John. Oh God, I forgot his. If the Lightning Network, you could do it. You could do and or, okay, and or option. So buy a bunch of start your own cryptocurrency. You could start your own cryptocurrency if you wanted to over at Parler and just pay people. I mean that helps. You could buy a bunch of some semi-defunct cryptocurrency that's worth less than a penny and then distribute it to people somehow through your site. You could partner with a major altcoin that's already out there and say to that altcoin, hey, you will be the official currency of Parler, and you must now give me millions of dollars worth of your altcoin and we will distribute it, okay? And it'll be free publicity for your altcoin. It's out there, dude. There are all sorts of creative solutions in this golden age. You don't have to be part of the Bitcoin. It could involve altcoins. Okay, we don't have to be part of the Bitcoin Inquisition here or anything like that. It's all on the table. It will help, even if Parler did something, partnered with an altcoin, it didn't do the Lightning Network, it would still help Bitcoin holders, okay? Because it would bring cryptocurrency to a battle, which it's not involved in right now, which is this tremendous quote unquote battle of censorship by big tech, and to intertwine cryptocurrency in that story. I hate using the word battle. It would be great for Bitcoin. Okay, pound that like button. So speaking about, let me just see if there were any questions here. Max says, do you use the Lightning Network? No, I do not. And Roman Chu says, if Trump loses, he could embrace alternative social media mainstream. First of all, he should embrace, he's got all these people working for him. He should have already he should have one of his workers, his social media manager, already embrace alternative social media, okay? Mainstream media and mainstream social media revolves around Trump. Do you think a Trump exit is possible? I mean, of course it's possible. He should do it now. I mean, he could do it if he's so worried about it. That's personal responsibility right there. As an individual, instead of, it'd be much easier if he doesn't like what's going on Twitter, he should leave. Just like if I don't like what's going on Twitter, I should leave, okay? At a certain level, and go to Parler. And I went to Parler, okay? He's not on Parler. Donald Trump, there's a lot of fake Donald Trumps on Parler. The real one isn't there. So the solution isn't for Donald Trump currently to say, hey, we're going to break up big tech and have government interference. It's about like, hey, I'm Donald Trump. I'm leaving this. I'm going to go to Parler. Parler, come up with some good gimmicks, good marketing, good. Just go beyond saying, hey, we're not going to censor. We're going to do whatever. And I'll help you, Parler. But don't use the force, the violence of the government to do this. And all right. What next? What was I going to say? Filecoin, okay? Well, what's this Filecoin thing? Yeah, this people are talking about. It's the altcoin flavor of the month, dudes. If you're new, Zcash had a similar time of being a flavor of the month, just like this. And the great whale panda, or the pretty good whale panda, has a tweet reminding all the newbies the Filecoin launch is going to be like the Zcash launch for the newer people. Grin, very small supply. The first couple of hours/days, the lowest vesting period was 6 months. Price will start high, and then there will be endless dumping for years. So when Zcash and Grin came out, I mean, they were worth, people were paying so much for them. But over time, there was more and more of it kept coming up, and the hype went away. And so, yeah, Filecoin is set up in a similar way that they were. Oh yeah, retweet this, dudes. Retweet. It's on. Hey, I'm still on Twitter, but I'm on Parler too, man. And I'm not. I understand. I'm not crying about Twitter. I understand exactly what they are. I understand exactly what they are. They're politically biased. And they believe in Chinese-style censorship. And I'm saying, I've got a backup over there at Parler, and Parler, you need to step up here and get into this cryptocurrency thing. So yeah, retweet this, and this will be on Parler later. I put this all on Parler eventually. Geez, and I'm BitcoinMeister on there. Just seeing if there are any other questions. All right. Moving on, and yes, this is a unique beast type of show, but you're not going to get any kind of you're not going to get this in the let's cry about the government. Let's get government censorship in here space. You're not going to get this on the libertarian channels, even this type of solution, because they don't know about Bitcoin. They should, but they don't. And you're definitely not going to hear about this on Bitcoin, and the cryptocurrency and the Bikini Girl channels. They're not going to want to combine a current event and use their heads to create a solution. This is what I love. I love to use my brain. I love to come up with creative, unique beast type of solutions instead of everybody just repeating the same old stories, the same old lines, the same old, just let government solve everything for us. All right? Yes. And just thinking, no, this has nothing to do with Bitcoin whatsoever. this situation. No, we can make Bitcoin. Everything can deal with Bitcoin in the golden age, and that's what I want these new shows to be about. Solutions that Bitcoin gives and cryptocurrency gives to every problem that all these criers are screaming about all the time, wanting government to fix. Bitcoin solves it all. It's not, and people use that line, Bitcoin solves this, Bitcoin solves this. Well, explain how Bitcoin solves this. I just explained how Bitcoin solves this. All right, now, real estate reminder here. Years after selling a house, a title company contacts me and says, "Hey, Adam, we were just going over some old notes, and we noticed that a certain release was never signed. We never got you to sign a certain release. So if the people who currently own the house now try to sell the house, the title isn't exactly clear." So these guys made a big mistake. I got all my money and everything like that. But if I was a jerk of some sort, I could cloud the title forever at this point because they didn't have me sign something. So now they want me to sign something and get it notarized. And I'm like, I'm not paying for any notary. You're going to do this for me. Whatever happens, you're going to provide. Now I'm putting this story out there because it just shows you the finality of Bitcoin. Okay, when you make a Bitcoin transaction, it's over. It's final. That's it. You get the confirmations. That's it. No one comes back to you years later and say, "Oh, you didn't sign off on this, so you don't exactly own the Bitcoin now." Okay, no, you own the Bitcoin. Now, there's some dude that owns some house out there now, and apparently, I have a claim on it. I don't have nothing to do with that freaking house. But it just shows all the middlemen involved in real estate, all the things you have to sign, the title companies, this, that, and the other. Mistakes can be made, and it's not final. There's an easy chance for it not to be. You don't really know when it's final or not. They thought it was final, but somebody made a mistake. Okay, somebody made a mistake along the line, and now it's not as final as with Bitcoin. It's final. That's it. And this is. It just never ends with the real estate stuff. It's unbelievable because a document wasn't signed years ago. Now they gotta come back and get me to sign the document, and I'm not even in Maryland to get it notarized. This, that, and the other. And obviously it has to be. It depends on what state you're in. Maryland, all sorts of things. With Bitcoin, it's final. It doesn't matter if one dude's in Africa, you're in Utah. You send it, it gets confirmed. That is all. And no one can ever come back to you and say, "Oh, no, you got to sign this now." Now, finally, here is an in-motion dude, a fan of the show, Azure Media. And I think this dude has something to do with the state of Maryland, too. Correct me if I'm wrong, Azure. But he says, he's in motion. Okay, so that's why I'm talking about him. When fans of the show contact me about their projects and they're in motion and it involves cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, I'm going to talk about it. So he's an artist. He says, "I have recently started," and he's linked to below. "I have recently started adding some of my aerial photography to the following site. These art pieces are not being sold anywhere else. The purchaser gets exclusive rights to download and use the photo freely as their own." Cool idea. Okay, it's an interesting idea, dude. It's an interesting idea. It has to do with Ethereum here, putting art on Ethereum. All right. But he says, might as well make some ETH to turn into King BTC. Always in motion. There you go. So that's what I love. You boil it back down to Bitcoin, okay? And everyone can boil it back down. He values his wealth in Bitcoin. Sure. So he has a way to sell his art for Ethereum, and he's going to turn into Bitcoin. So it says, by purchasing this collectible, you will be the sole owner of this piece of digital art. After unlocking, you will be able to download the full resolution file and will have the rights to edit, brand the photo as yours, and use it for any personal or commercial uses. Is there a future in this? I don't know. Compete, don't complain. They're competing. They're innovating over there. And this dude is making the art through it. So, hey, it's not hurting me. may the space grow in many different ways. There are going to be failures. There are going to be successes. We don't need the government to define what is a failure and a success, how to run a business or anything like that. That is it. Rock Ape 73 says, that's a groovy shirt. Where can I buy it? It's linked to below, one of those. It looks like Moses throwing the 10 commandments, but instead it's Bitcoin. I've got all sorts of shirt links below, and it is a little confusing. You'll find it over there. You'll find it in many of those links. Just explore the links. All right, guys, pound that like button. Goodbye, my unique beast, elite friends. Tomorrow noon, right here. Do spread the word about this on Parler, on Twitter, on all the social media. That's a great way to support the show. I definitely appreciate it. See you guys at noon tomorrow. Pound that like button.